Describe how devices become cybersecurity threats. You've learned that devices are all around us and that they hold all kinds of personal information. Also, you've seen that cybercriminals target devices to get their hands on this information. But how do they do this? Devices as threat vectors. While devices help us to get our work done and go about our daily lives, they also present opportunities to cybercriminals who want to cause harm. This is because they're threat vectors. They provide different ways in which cybercriminals can carry out attacks. For example, phone, laptop, or tablet, downloading a malicious app might result in the device being contaminated with malware that can exfiltrate sensitive data stored locally without the user's knowledge. This compromises confidentiality and integrity because the cybercriminal can now view or modify the data. USB drives. Cybercriminals can put malicious software or files on a USB drive and insert it into a device like a laptop. The drive could, for example, run ransomware, meaning the availability of the data has been compromised because it's locked in return for a ransom. Always-on home assistant devices. These devices are always listening or watching. A cybercriminal can put malicious software on the app stores for these devices. If a user then installs it, the cybercriminal could, for example, attack the device with spyware to secretly record information and compromise data confidentiality. They could also move laterally to other home devices and compromise their data. Let's look at the following video to see how devices around us can become threat vectors.
Devices around us can become threat vectors. Let's look at a typical day for Kayla. Kayla's at home. She has lots of different devices, but any of these devices can become a threat vector. For example, Kayla may have accidentally downloaded a malicious app on her tablet disguised as a harmless app. This means her tablet may have been compromised. The cybercriminal could use the compromised tablet to access and control the rest of Kayla's devices through the wireless network. Kayla now takes her car to work. On the move, Kayla could encounter threat vectors as well. In her car, she has devices that she can use, like her phone, her navigation system, voice control system, and more. Suppose Kayla found herself in a traffic jam. Her car provides Wi-Fi to her devices, like her phone, through a built-in wireless access point. However, a criminal in a nearby car may be scanning for vulnerable devices to attack. This means that the cybercriminal could compromise the wireless access point in her car. Once compromised, any devices connected to it could be at risk because a cybercriminal can laterally move across the network. Once Kayla arrives at work, she uses several devices like her work computer, a printer, a USB drive, her phone, and more. All of these are threat vectors. For example, the USB drive that Kayla has could contain a malicious file. If she inserts the device into her computer, the malicious file can compromise that computer, then compromise devices across the wider office network.
Device vulnerabilities. A device can become compromised because of poor health, either because it doesn't have the latest security updates or it has weak authentication. If you connect this type of device to a Wi-Fi hotspot, in an airport, for example, it's an easy target for attackers. They know the common vulnerabilities of devices and applications and how to gain unauthorized access. After an attacker gains access, they can run scripts to install malware. In most cases, malware like backdoors or botnets can persist on the device even after it's updated. This causes further damage when a user connects the infected device to a work or home network. Some users want to gain more control of their devices for customization or other purposes, and might resort to jailbreaking. This is where a user finds unofficial ways to get full access to the core systems of a device. The device becomes vulnerable because this action might circumvent security measures. This gives cybercriminals the opportunity to provide false guidance or software that compromises the device. Any connected device has the potential to be a threat vector if it's not properly secured. Having learned this, we can now think about the different ways in which we protect our devices.